Meeting to order for the Town of Brunswick Planning Board for December 4th, 2025. Everybody please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our agenda this evening is as follows. This was posted on the town website and the town board. Number 1, Maselli, waiver of subdivision. Applicant seeks a lot line adjustment between two adjacent parcels located at 689, 691 Hoosick Road and 693 Hoosick Road. Dominic Maselli is the applicant. Number 2, Lineo, waiver of subdivision. Applicant seeks a lot line adjustments to merge 5 existing lots into 2 new lots on property located at 30 Stone Arabia Drive. David Lineo is the applicant. Number 3, Paramount Building Group major subdivision. This has been taken off the agenda. This is the application. Proposes a major subdivision of a approximately 33-acre parcel, as well as construction of a new road with a cul-de-sac and a water line extension on property located at the northeast corner of Spring Avenue Extension and Creek Road. Paramount Building Group of New York is the applicant. They have requested to be taken off the agenda tonight. Number 4, National Grid, site plan and special use permit. Applicant seeks site plan approval and a special use permit for construction and operation of an energy transfer station on property located at 1278 Spring Avenue. National Grid is the applicant. Number 5, Galavan, waiver of subdivision. Applicant seeks a lot line adjustment between 2 lots to accommodate driveways for each lot on property located at Deepfield Road. Sean Galavan is the applicant. And number 6, which was also taken off the agenda, Silas major subdivision. Applicant wants to provide an update on a previously approved major subdivision. Jim Silas is the applicant. Once again, that has been taken off the agenda. Our first item on our meeting is the review and approval of the minutes for November 20th, 2025. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at those, and are there any corrections, additions, amendments to these minutes? Okay, hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as they were submitted. Do I have a second? Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Okay. Moving on to our first item on our agenda is the Maselli waiver of subdivision.
Good evening. My name is Paul Inkster. I'm here on behalf of Dominic Maselli. We submitted this application for a lot line revision, adjustment, and a waiver of the subdivision rules and regulations of the town of Brunswick back in October. It was originally scheduled on November the 20th, I believe, and is on for this evening. This is Dominic Maselli owned and operated his Italian deli at 689, 691, Brunswick for 30 years. Thereafter, just operated as a retail business. He sold it in October and retained 693 Hoosick. In that process, we observed that there was an encroachment by the property description of 689, 691 of approximately 7 feet over onto 693. It just made sense, more or less a housekeeping exercise to adjust the property line so that the wall that was there located dividing 693 and 691 is properly on 691, and that 693 continues to own the pylon sign and a portion of its parking. So we've asked for your review and approval of that.
Okay, we received this material, like you said, back in October, and we've had an opportunity to take a look at it and discuss under new business. I think this is pretty well cut and dry as far as a lot line adjustment. Everything has been reviewed on it. Does anyone on the board have any questions on this?
I think if you take a look at the pictures on at the end of our application, it kind of shows you why it's sort of appropriate to make that adjustment. Because there's a wall about 7 feet, we want to leave the wall on 691, keep the pylon sign and the parking lot on 690.
Wayne, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Anyone on the board have any questions?
There's no storage or anything proposed for the area adjacent between the building and the proposed new line.
Pardon me?
No, there's no proposed storage in this gap between that and.
No, no, it's just, we just want to keep that pylon sign over on 693. Because
You're not gonna put a dumpster up there or anything like that?
I have no further questions.
If there are no more questions, I will entertain a motion for a secret determination on that.
Make a motion to make that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on the secret declaration? Okay, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now on the approval of the waiver of subdivision, which is a lot line adjustment. Is there any conditions or anything that have been placed on it?
Generally, on the use that sliver that's coming off one lot with the lot line adjustment, just that'll be merged into the receiving parcel, right?
Our original thought was to do a quitclaim deed between the parties. Well, we could do it the other way where it excludes from, well, one of those is going to be done.
Correct, and ultimately, the receiving, we'll call it the receiving parcel that's getting the land. That has to be, I don't know if you're gonna create a new description, but whatever instrument you use to do that, just give a copy of that to the building department. They wanna make sure there's not a new sliver of land that's a standalone.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, there was just discussion, so was that approved?
Yeah, we have to make a motion to approve. I'll make a motion to approve the lot line adjustment. We have a second. Is there any further discussion on that?
With the condition about filing what amounts to the merger deed.
Correct. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you're all set. Do you want these maps back?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Now we're all stacked.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
That's all right.
Very good.
Thank you again.
Okay, second on our agenda is Marina, waiver of subdivision.
Good evening. I'm going to borrow statement.
Thanks, Kevin.
There you go.
Before you set up here, I just want to clarify something. Is there any further investigation into the PDD?
We did do some research. We could not find the actual conditions, but I did talk to Bill in the water department. He had within the year looked at the conditions. Doesn't recall where they were, but he said it's only one or two lines. Doesn't really apply to the lot line adjustment.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, you're on the floor.
Advanced Engineering, we're here tonight on behalf of Katie Molino, who's proposing the lot line adjustment. There will be 2 lots as shown on this map. The original plan of development district had 5 lots. And, now it's showing to have 2 lots. It meets all the setback requirements, it meets all the acreage, lot size. The current lot in its entirety is 2.3 acres. And there'll be one lot that will be 0.82 acres, and the other lot will be 1.48 acres in size. In the PDD, the minimum lot area is 16,000 square feet. And the setbacks are 35 in the front, 35 in the rear, and 15 on each of the sides. And obviously, the 2 lots in the middle, 7.
This has obviously public water,
Yes.
public sewer. There's no septic system requirements or anything.
Nope. There's sewer in that standard area, and there's water line.
Now, originally, just for informational purposes, this was a combination of 5 lots, this whole parcel?
Yes, so, and there it's shown, those 5 lots are the oval lots, that are shown here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. I would have to assume that those 5 lots were in compliance with the R25.
Yeah, the map that we looked at today, they were.
Well, they were part of the PDD.
Correct.
Right.
It was based around R25.
I mean, I don't see any, even with the PDD, if you're going, if you combine 5 lots and now you want to take one off, I think the process has already been addressed, I think, as far as subdividing and merging lots, so I don't see anything that would stop us from moving forward. Do you think?
I would agree.
Yeah, I don't see any issue.
Now, just, you said that Bill Bradley looked at this?
Yeah, we tried to find the conditions, but we couldn't get our hands on them.
But there was a comment made about the water lines?
No, I'm just saying, he had looked at the conditions some time ago for another issue, but
Okay,
he said that they didn't pertain to the lot
okay.
size or locations.
Anybody on the board have any questions? Wayne, do you have any questions on this?
No.
Okay. Then, I don't see any reason why we can't move forward. Would somebody like to make a secret determination on this?
I'll make a negative declaration.
Okay, have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now on the Waiver of subdivision. Conditions? No conditions?
I don't see any. You see anyone?
Nope. Okay. And I'll make a motion to approve the waiver of subdivision. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We're all set.
Thank you.
Once again, would you like your copies of your maps? back?
Well, we were making some changes to those to show the correct zoning. But those have the erroneous zoning on there. So we'll be getting new ones over to Gavin. The approval.
Is that something we should have
Yeah,
mentioned?
that's
Yeah, you can leave it,
Somebody will
sure,
want it.
sure.
All right. Moving right along. Once again, three on our agenda tonight was the Paramount Building Group. They have decided to give up on the agenda tonight, so moving on to number 4, which is National Grid Site Plan and Special Use Permit. How are you tonight?
Happy to be here. Allison Phillips, attorney with law firm Young Summer, local counsel for National Grid. So since our last appearance before the planning board on our applications for site plan and special use permit, we have just today received some comments from the town's designated engineer on our site plan submission, our civil drawings, SWIP, also the support studies that we submitted to supplement our EAF, including traffic study and noise report. So we have received those comments. We're just starting to go through them. We do anticipate having a written response to the comments that we submit back to the planning board for the record, and hopefully get that to you before any upcoming appearance. One question that I would like to address that I was able to get a response to this afternoon. There was a discrepancy in the EAF document and our SWIP on the numbers of acres to be disturbed. Our EAF had reported, I think, 14.3 acres, and then in the SWIP, we subsequently developed and submitted that acreage was reduced down to 10.9. Wayne did note the discrepancy between the two documents. We went back to the team and confirmed that the number of acres to be disturbed as reported in the SWIP was the accurate number. So that number is actually 10.9 acres to be disturbed out of the 26-acre site. And we will submit an updated EAF with that change. And I do have hard copies of that today. We already got it changed inside. So we were able to respond to that comment this afternoon, but as I said, we will be developing written responses to the remaining comments from the engineer submitted to the planning board for the record. Since our last appearance, I'd also like to note National Grid has worked to organize some public information sessions to get more information about the project out to the community. We did have the first of those sessions last night, which was a virtual session, which went very well and was well attended. We do have an upcoming in-person public information session that will be next week on December 9th, starting at 6:00 p.m. at the Brunswick Community Center on Keys Lane. So anyone interested about getting any more information about the project or being able to submit questions to the project team is encouraged to attend.
I will note that it has been posted on the Town of Brunswick website under the announcements. And one thing regarding those, I did email Sarah Bogues and requested that before each one of these sessions, an announcement be made that this is not a public hearing. And so I know that I believe she did that. It was stated in the virtual one. Right?
Yes, and we did note that there will be a formal public hearing during the planning board's review process as we kind of talked about the procedure before the planning board.
Yeah, we just didn't want people to think that this was an open session. your comments would be part of the official record of this process.
Understood.
I have one question. I have a couple of questions regarding you said it was well attended, the first one. Do you have an idea how many people logged on to?
Uh, 23 members.
23, okay. And would you like to, at this point, give us some idea of what the concerns were as it relates to our process here?
There was a number,
Is there anything new that we're not aware of?
no, there was a number of questions, about some of the topics that we've already gone over during the planning board process. Talking about the need for the facility, why the location was selected, asking specific questions about some of the safety features on the trucks that will be delivering the CNG to the site. Also, some questions about the fire detection capabilities that are incorporated in the project design that we've been talking about here at these meetings. So a lot of good questions, really looking for some more specific information, which I think we were able to provide. I'll also note that National Grid has set up a publicly accessible webpage where it has all the information about the project posted, upcoming events like the open house. We've also created a document repository where we're going to upload documents as they're submitted to the planning board, just to allow the public to access them more easily. I'll also note, we did discuss it at the information session last night, we have developed a public safety plan. It was just submitted via email to the town this afternoon, so many of you might have had a chance to review it. But we did formally submit it to the planning board to make it part of our application, and that just documents, again, some of the things we've been talking about as far as fire detection capabilities built into the project design, emergency response sequences, general information we think is important to get out there about the public safety components that we've been thinking about and incorporating into the project.
I have one question. We have run into some situations with cell towers, for example, where we went through a very extensive process of doing balloon studies, so forth and so on, visual impacts and everything like that. And agreed on a particular height on towers, so forth and so on. Only to have that a year later, these cell towers would come back and say, we can put in a 20-foot extension according to our regulation levels, which basically throws out most of the process that we went through to try to do a visual plan. And they were allowed to do that by the regulations. They are also allowed to change carriers and so forth and so on. The reason I'm explaining this is when you build this station, do you have any contingency plans to expand that out at any given time? Instead of 26 stations, maybe make it 36 stations? Is that a possibility?
It's not a possibility. The project site has been designed and the pad has been designed with what we felt was the minimum amount of space needed for truck movement for the 26 trucks that we have the base plan for. So the site as designed is always planned for the site. There is no built-in capability to expand the number of bays.
Could you expand it by acquiring adjacent property? I think what I'm trying to avoid is this. Trying to avoid, you go through all this process, and then a year later, it's like, oh, we need more capacity, and all of a sudden, you double the size of this site. I think that's something that we have to put as a condition. If that happens, you have to come before us. And
Yeah.
for a full review of that again.
Absolutely, I mean,
I don't want all of a sudden have this backdoor thing where, oh yeah, we're allowed to do this according to energy regulations or whatever regulations. So, that's the issue that always sticks in the back of my mind. And I could see it also with possibly these solar farms and stuff like that. So, one of the conditions would be that you would have to come back before us, any expansion. That's,
and I think that'd be a perfectly reasonable condition. I mean, we're here before the town planning board tonight because the local review and approval is required under the code.
Yep.
And we would understand that any kind of modification to the approved site plan would require us to come back to the planning.
Okay.
I do have here tonight, Peter Metcalf, the gas system strategic planning, person from National Grid. You know, if you have any other specific questions about, you can call him up. You know, I can't really speak to the ability to, you know, the question about acquiring adjacent lands. I mean, my understanding is the facility has been designed to provide the number of bays that we know and can project will allow us to have the amount of natural gas that we need to inject into the line, but Peter would be the one to probably better able to explain.
Okay.
Good evening. Pete Metzger, I'm the National Grid, the Director of Gas System Strategic Plan.
You asked him to speak up. I know.
Last night, you were nice and loud and clear on the webinar.
Okay. Just move the mic, just get closer to the mic.
Take
Sure.
that mic.
There you go.
Is, how does he like?
There you go.
Okay. So, Peter Metzger, I'm the Director of Gas System Strategic Planning with National Grid. And we are the group that looks at how the gas system operates. We have hydraulic models that we develop for gas system, looking at the transmission and distribution system that serves this area and all of the National Grid service territories where we're the gas utility in New York State. As far as the size of this facility is concerned, the 2,200 decatherms an hour that we're looking to get from the site is the standard design that we have for all of the sites that we have within New York State. There's a reason why we have it at that limit. It's a combination of the number of trucks that we would want to have in a particular location, and also the ability of the system to absorb that much gas in a particular location. So to try to scale this up at this particular location would not be advantageous from the overall design of the gas system, because it would be trying to basically put too many eggs in a single basket. This is the right size, the right number of eggs and the right size basket for this particular application. So this is the size of the site, and we would not be looking to make it any larger than this. If we needed something incremental, we would be looking to an alternative location.
Anyone have any questions?
I have several questions. In our last meeting, I put forth a number of questions, and I haven't heard any answers except for the safety plan that you mentioned. Have you determined who the trucking company is that's going to haul these trailers?
The trucking company is part of, we go through a RFP process for asking for the gas supply to be brought in. There are a number of vendors that would respond to that RFP. And depending on who the successful bidder is, it could be one of several companies that would actually provide that. And that would be that vendor. Sure.
Hi, I'm Dennis Leibel. I'm from National Grid from the Gas Engineering Department. Just to kind of follow up on that question, we don't know the trucking vendor, but we pretty much know the type of truck that we're going to be bringing in, the manufacturer.
Okay. I guess where I'm going with this is, I really see the safety plan that this trucking company, this to be named trucking company, has.
So they might be
I need to see the safety record.
Safety record of the trucking company.
And their safety plan.
We could probably give you safety records or safety plans for the ones that we bid out to. So, we haven't selected the one yet.
But that could
Yeah.
change.
I don't even get 6 of them, I just want the one that.
I could offer, In the public safety plan that, you folks haven't had a chance to really review, we do give some overview on some of the features and the standardized trucks that one of the vendors would be using, and they are subject to regulation, separate and apart from, regulations applicable to the energy transfer station. It could certainly be a reasonable condition of the planning board's approval that when a vendor is selected, additional information can be provided at that time. But we will have in the record from this public safety plan, general information about the type of trailers that would be used, that are used to transport the CNG for this type of application, and the safety features that are incorporated in the design of those trailers.
Again, you're going back to the equipment. I'm talking about the trucking company that you pick. I'm going to need to see their safety record and their safety plan.
You probably wouldn't put the RFP out until you have approval, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
we
they
have
wanna
an
know
energy
who the
procurement
company is.
contract. We're not gonna procure that energy until we have the site solidified.
Is this done on a yearly basis? You bid it out every year?
It's multi-year.
Okay, so it could be 3, 4, 5 years or whatever.
Correct.
Okay, fine.
Okay, another question that I had was, you selected this site, and a gentleman that was here, not that really few, I don't know, he mentioned that several sites had been evaluated. And this was the one we chose. My question at the time was, what sites were also considered? And what are they?
It was, in excess of 30 sites we looked at, and we could share, most likely we should share.
The issue is that many of the sites that we looked at, there are sites that are owned by people that don't know that we were even looking at the sites because we ruled those sites out for one or another reason along the way, whether it was the size of the parcel, the proximity to the existing main, or some other condition which made that site unsuitable for this particular application.
Well, okay. I'm with. Where we did it,
So the existing transmission main that we have is where we were trying to be within close proximity to. So we would follow the transmission main route as it runs through the service territory. From there, we were looking at a distance, we were trying to stay within 1,000 feet because the shorter the main that we have to run, the lower the cost to do that, and the more effective that site can be by being able to put the gas into the system closer to where the need is. So if you're looking for just the general criteria, if you were to follow our transmission main, essentially we were looking for parcels that were within roughly 1,000 feet of that in terms of where we would be able to inject the gas to.
does your pipeline follow the power, the high tension line?
In that right of way it does, yes, but it is not co-located with the electric system for its entirety. The line comes from Troy, runs to the east, then runs north through that right of way, then it runs back to the west and eventually crosses back underneath the Hudson River and runs its way over into the west side of the Hudson for a while. It's basically a button hooks type system.
Okay.
So just to clarify something,
Sure.
the gas lines and the electrical power lines, that I mentioned, there's no correlation at all. Just by coincidence, they do happen to cross over. And this coincidence happened here at the Spring Avenue.
That's correct.
Okay. So you're well within 1,000 feet of your line at
Yes,
this site,
yes.
basically on top of it.
Well, from the property line side, but we still have to run from the main to the actual equipment.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to have that main extending, if the site is 1,000 feet away, and then I need to run from the edge of the property line into the site further, that's incremental length of pipe that we would not want to keep going, because then as the pipe gets longer, it also has to get larger. in order to reduce the pressure losses in that pipe. And then the amount of gas that you have to put into the pipe to push the gas into the system also goes under that.
Okay.
Could you describe the process, one more time for me on how each truck is activated into the line, pressurized? Is it sequentially or all at once?
All 26 trucks that would be connected to the header will be active at the same time, and we will draw down all of the trucks simultaneously over the course of a 4-hour period.
And then at that time, when the truck is empty, all the trucks will leave and new trucks will be
Yes.
brought in?
So it's about 4 hours to draw the trucks down. We have about an 8-hour time block to cycle out the spent trailers and then bring in full trailers, and then we would run for a second 4-hour block.
And that happens how frequently based on, the frequency is based on the temperature
Yes.
drop? So that two cycles
Would be a day.
would be one day, and if you had consecutive 0-degree days, you might have this operation happening. If you had it for 5 consecutive days, you'd have it for 5, you'd have 10 trips.
Our design day temperature is -10.
Okay.
So that's that's a -10 average temperature. So that's where we're looking at the peak hour of the design day is where there would be the most need for this site. If there is an upset on the pipeline system where they were unable to deliver the full amount of supply, we could need it at warmer temperatures than -10. But generally speaking, we're activating the site in advance of cold weather because the forecast can be for, a -2 day, and then the actual temperature can come in at -10. And we need to be ready for that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we would discharge the trailers. We would be ready to, but we might not.
And can they sit for a certain period of time without being activated? Say you had 0-degree day for 5 days in a row, and then you have a -10 every day. Could they sit there for 5 days and then be activated on the 5th day?
Yes, do you want to sort of take that, Dennis?
Yeah, the intent is that we would bring in 26 trucks, they'd be parked there starting December 15th, and they'd remain there until March 15th, so 90 days straight. And there might be a scenario where those same trucks are parked there, those same 26 trucks are parked for the 90 days, and we only send the gas in the system once. We'd send the gas in once, just to relieve all the gas in the tanks before we go and send them out, and then we wouldn't replace those trucks until the following winter, following December 15th, for the next 90 days. So remember, this site is only used for 2 reasons. One, if there's like an extreme weather event, right, that creates a supply shortfall, and the second would be if there's one of our upstream suppliers has some issues with some of their equipment, resulting in impacting us, where then now we need to get gas in our system by some other means other than the pipeline. So it's those 2 reasons, which is why we need a system like this.
So the trucks would always leave empty,
Yes.
they would never leave full.
We purchased the commodity that's on the truck, so we would not send out a full truck any more than you would send an Amazon truck away with your package.
We already paid for that gas.
So, I guess I misunderstood how this whole thing was gonna work. I thought you were gonna draw the trailers down one at a time. So in other words, we're gonna draw all down at the same time, and then we're gonna have 52 tractor trailers running back and forth to this site.
It will be 26 at a time, but I want to repeat, this site is only used in 2 scenarios. Extreme weather, where there's a supply issue. The second one is if we have an upstream supplier issue from one of our pipeline vendors. So only in those 2 scenarios. So like I said,
So the 26 trailers that are there, you would have a cab that would come in with a new trailer, and it could take away an old trailer.
But in an event, yes, there could be potentially 52 trucks in a day, 26 in the morning, 26 at night.
Now, when this, on December 15th, when all these trailers arrive, this site has 24-hour personnel at it.
When in operation, it's manned 24/7. When it's operating, when the trucks are there, there's going to be 24/7 security. So December 15th to March 15th, 24/7 security. When it's in operation, the trucks are hooked up to the actual header. When we're flowing gas, then we have National Grid operations team there in addition to the vendor, whoever we wind up selecting, to be there as well to monitor their trucks.
How many typically on an operations team? Like how many personnel would you have there in the event you're charging a lot?
How many do we need to have there? Probably maybe 3 in addition to the truck vendor, but we probably will have, at least, probably double, triple that for training purposes. It's rare that we would actually use a site like this, so when we would, we take advantage of operating it with training other operational officers.
There would also, if we're into an extended period of time, you would have overlap, so you would have a crew change, because you're not gonna have the same people on site for 24 hours, so you would have a period of time where the new crew would come in and then the old crew would leave. So the number of people on site would vary over the course of the 24 hours.
So you have these 26 trucks hooked up to a manifold, right?
Yes.
And the valves are all open when we're going down, for all 26 trucks, right?
The valves are all open for all 26 trucks when we're drawing them down. Correct.
Okay, so if there's an incident with one trailer, since they are all open valves, you have the potential of a cascade effect on all the other 25 trailers, correct?
No, along each truck has safeguards built into the truck. So if there was an event, we can shut down the truck itself. Each truck has 2 hoses coming off the back. And each of those 2 hoses have air actuated valves on it. So if there were to be some, increase in pressure, if the temperature happens to go awry, the air actuated valves don't close, so it isolates the truck. So no, what happens at one truck doesn't impact what happens at the other trucks.
So this is all automated, there's no manual work involved with shutting these trucks off?
You have to manually hook the truck up via a hose
Right, I get
to the manifold. Outside of that, everything is all, can be, there are manual valves, but there's also automated valves as well. So it's not fully, the safety features are fully automated, but there are still manual valves on it. But without the manual valves, you can still close valves automatically actuate.
I'm just thinking about 3 guys out there trying to close valves on 26 trailers.
No, that's why there's the control building on the site, so that they can close every single valve from inside that control building.
Last winter, how many days we do empty those trailers?
Next winter would have been 0. Well, we would have just emptied it at the end of the season.
Do you have some sort of record of temperatures for this area for say the past 25 years, or this event might happen?
So we do have data from our forecasting team that we do look at over excluding any pipeline events, because again, if there's a pipeline shortfall, that's the other criteria, but on a strict temperature basis, I don't believe we've had any of the -10 average days. However, we have had some pipeline upsets along the way for the pipeline that feeds this area. So I can't say that there wouldn't have been a day in the last 25 years that we wouldn't have operated the site.
I'm just wondering about temperature causation.
But temperature causation, we look at, generally it's a 1 in 30 to 1 in 40 year event that we would have a design event. But we never know which year that's gonna be, so we have to be ready if needed.
If you have these 26 trailers hooked up and for whatever reason mechanically or just one of them fails. The system still works with 25, so forth and so on.
Yes.
Have you ever run into situations where there was a problem with the main gas line? Something happened and it was partially closed down, that these trailers would be activated in, say, 32-degree weather? You know what I'm saying?
So from the standpoint of,
Could this be also like an emergency?
it would be a contingency, but from the standpoint of, it would still have to be relatively cold out before we would get to a point where they would have this, a cut that would be that significant on the pipe that we would need to get to this. So I would say, if you're 30, 40 degrees out, it would have to be something along the lines of the interstate pipeline literally having a catastrophic failure somewhere on it to get to that. It wouldn't be something like a tripped compressor or something like that. It would have to be something truly catastrophic.
Okay.
This is not our first line of defense before we have to go initiate this facility. There are other things we do first prior to initiating this.
So you have two other facilities like this in the area, sort of.
There's one other in this
There's one, I
area.
know there's one in Morrow. and
Yeah.
there's some-
This would be the second in upstate, and then we have 5 that are like this down in Long Island.
And have you ever had to activate them?
Strictly based on temperature, no.
What?
We've been in that exact scenario where we've had trucks parked there for December 15th to March 15th, and we've sent out, once or twice, only for the purpose of getting rid of the inventory that we purchased and to send the trucks back. So
We did do one stress test with the vendor to actually deliver to all of the sites and decompress, just to make sure that the vendors could actually deliver under the circumstances if they were being put to that. But that, again, it was a single day event. We only did it for the morning cycle during daytime hours, so that it was, less disruptive than trying to do it in the middle of the night for, just trying to make sure that everybody would be able to show up on site with all the trailers, decompress into the system, and then remove the spent trailers. So we have done that once, but that's something that we did because of the size and scale of what we were doing, particularly on Long Island, 5 sites of this nature. So you're talking about roughly 120 trucks per cycle.
Now, you say that if the upstream supplier has an issue and you have to put gas in the line, you're only going to use this site if that's a problem between December 15th and March 15th? Are you going to pull in there in May because you got a problem, or?
no, that's why we're parking the trucks there from December 15th to March 15th, because that's the time span when we would need the gas. And if there were to be a problem, that's when we need it. And with the trucks, parking them there for that span allows us to get at least one rapid send out. Because it takes us a while contractually to bring in additional trucks.
So what I'm saying, if you have a problem with your upstream supplier in May,
In
are
May,
you going to pull 26 trucks in there?
In May, we wouldn't be looking to pull 26 trucks in there because typically, by the time you get to May, the demand on the system has gotten so low by comparison to what it is at -10 degrees that we can feed the system by alternate means, and we wouldn't need to use trucks in order to do that. It's really a very cold weather scenario where the pipeline wouldn't be able to deliver to any of the gates that feed this area, and that we wouldn't be able to move supply around in order to drive it back to a particular problem.
So if your line pressure gets, so you don't have these trucks there, your line pressure drops. Can it get so low that it's a problem and you just start shutting off houses and stuff?
In theory, yes. I mean, that can happen at any point in time throughout the year. If there's an incident at a particular location, it can happen on a summer night somewhere where you can lose gas service if there's a particular incident. But generally speaking, from this type of facility, you're feeding into a transmission system, which is higher up there aren't any houses connected to that particular pipe. It goes from those pipes out through a system, out into the distribution system. And all of that is done to increase the resiliency and reliability to individual customers to try to minimize and mitigate the potential for.
Do you have a bigger problem if your pressure drops, bringing the pressure back up?
If, so from the standpoint of, are you speaking in terms of the warmer weather scenario, or do you want to just talk in general?
I'm just saying that, all of a sudden I don't know, you got a problem and pressure drops.
Mm-hmm.
You just turn the pressure, just fix the problem, turn the pressure back up?
No. So if the,
No. So if you got a problem in January,
Yes.
you don't have the pressure, you got a problem for a
That's
while.
exactly why we're putting in.
So if you lose a particular, if we lose an area, if the pressure falls low enough where customers lose service, we have to isolate every single customer that loses service due to that incident, restore gas to the main in the street, and then go individually turn all of those customers back on. So if you're talking about that for 20,000 customers, we don't normally have the staffing to address a 20,000 customer outage. So you're talking about a prolonged weeks to even potentially months long outage for some of these customers in the dead of winter. If you actually lose service, getting it back is a very prolonged period.
It's not like the electric, where the electric shuts off and all of a sudden it turns back on and all your utilities go back on. You have to have someone physically go there, shut it off, and someone physically go there and turn it back on and make sure all of your equipment inside your house is operating properly.
We would basically call in people from probably every gas company in the Northeast.
These first two rows that I'll be out there turning gas on and on.
I would be, if I could do something, I'd be out there, even if it's just serving hot chocolate to the people that.
So just to clarify, you have a facility like this in Morrow?
Yes.
And,
The other 5 are in Wilmette. This would be the second site in upstate.
Now, is the one up there, is that in operation right now?
The Moreau site it's not operating at the moment, but it is operable. We can bring trucks there. It's not December 15th yet, so we don't have the trucks on
It's
site.
ready for this winter.
But it will be cited.
Did you have it ready for last one?
We had it staffed and ready for last winter, yes.
Okay. All right, anybody have any questions? These gentlemen? Wayne, do you have any questions?
No, all my questions are in my letter to,
Okay. One of the things I think we have to address right now is the lead agency requirements. So you can, we have to declare lead agency on this. We haven't done that.
Yes.
I think you'd want us to do that.
We would like the board to do that. If the board is ready, we would like the board to declare its intent to act as lead agency and authorize the circulation of a lead agency coordination notice so that we can get the application materials out to the other involved and interested agencies and get any comments back that they have.
We need a motion for that.
Right, so what you should do is discuss whether this board would like to serve as lead agency. That's usually in your lead agency coordination, that you intend to declare yourself lead agency if any other involved agency objects. So first question for the board is, do you want to commence lead agency coordination? And if yes, do you intend to seek to declare yourselves lead agency? And that should be in the circulation notice.
I'm not speaking for the board, but I would assume that we would want to be lead agency on this. Is that correct?
Some of you guys do
Well, it's generally the agency where the impacts would are most significant, and in a project like this, it's generally at a local level.
Yes. And I would like to make a motion to proceed with coordination on that and declaring us lead agency and have that distributed through.
I'll make a second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
So what I will do is prepare the lead agency coordination notice stating that the planning board intends to declare itself as the agency for this action unless any other agency objects. And we'll get it circulated. Once we have the updated, corrected, full EAF, and I'll coordinate with Wayne just to make sure I have the current correct site plan, because I'd like to send that out. That is
All right. And, with that. All right, I think that's about it we can do tonight. Once again, you have a second information session for this Tuesday, the 9th at 6 o'clock at the community center. So we encourage everybody to attend that. And once again, that is not a public hearing, it's an information session. Public hearing for this planning board, after we compile all the completed information, site plan, EAF, all those type of things. And we deem it complete by our engineer. We then will schedule a public hearing. I don't anticipate that until probably after the first of the year, obviously. But once again, I want to emphasize, and National News be very good about notifying the public that this is not a public hearing. And we will be conducting a public hearing at a later date. So if there's nothing else, do you want to be on our agenda for our next meeting?
The next meeting, is there a second meeting in December?
Yes, on the 18th.
If we could be put on the agenda, we're gonna work to get responses to the engineer's comments. If we don't have them ready in time, if it's okay with the board, we'll write in and ask you to take it off the agenda, but, if we can be put on it now, tentatively, that would be great.
Okay. It's done. You're on.
Great.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for clarifying a few things. I appreciate that.
Happy to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Number 5 on our agenda tonight is the Galavan waiver of subdivision. Linda has to. Hey, Jacob, how are you tonight?
Good, how's everybody else tonight?
Good.
Yeah, we're doing good. Good. Glad to hear it.
All right. We went over this in our last meeting, obviously you're under new business. So we didn't have an opportunity to really look at this, but why don't you give us just a quick update of what you want to do here?
Yeah, so we're applying for a waiver subdivision. This is the west side of detail. Previously approved subdivision. Lots 1 and 2, as they started putting the driveways in, we realized they needed a little bit more room. So we're proposing to put a curb in the line, per se, just adjusting the areas of the 2 lots by 0.07 acres in order to give both driveways enough room to make up existing lots.
Okay, so this is basically a lot line adjustment.
Yes.
Does everybody follow that on the application? Does anybody have any questions on that? Wayne?
I don't think so.
It was pretty well clear cut at the last meeting. I know what they were trying to do.
Did they used to come in over by lot 3? Is that the original intent?
Yeah, we previously had a lot line adjustment there because there was the idea of coming in by lot 3. But now they've switched over to coming in on this side, and that's why we realized that we need to change that boundary line slightly to make room for both driveways.
Any questions at that end of the table?
What's the length of the driveway? It's too long.
I don't know that on the top of my head.
Because you will need to meet the New York State code for the length for fire access.
Yeah, the driveway that they're currently working on here has all been designed and it has turnarounds and everything. It meets all the criteria for fire access.
How wide are you making salmon for the driveway?
I believe edge of pavement is 14 feet.
May not be enough. You're over that little 500 feet.
Yeah, I don't know what his length, I don't know what the length is. But I can go with him before we issue him a permit.
If we can deal with this, right?
Mhm.
Make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, you own everything to the south of it is part of this lot. You can go into that side hill there and make a driveway that's 23 feet or whatever.
Or pull-offs.
Depending on, pull-offs or whatever. You got ground to use.
They're gonna have pull-offs. The driveways are longer than 500 feet, so they would have to have turnarounds or pull-offs once they're built.
Are there permits issued for those driveways? You know?
I believe the driveway on lot 1, which is the one they're working on currently, has been issued. There hasn't been one issued because I don't believe they're working on that middle lot yet.
Is this something that has to be changed on these drawings?
Not from my point of view.
He's got the land, he just gotta make the driveway wider.
Non-realty
Okay.
subdivision?
What's that?
Is this a non-realty subdivision?
No, or not, no, it wasn't. But he's to the south, I mean, there's lots. The driveway's right up the edge of his line.
Yeah.
He's got the whole, and he's got a D6 or a D8 up there now anyway, so I mean, he can fix it.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going between two other lots, he's got plenty of ground.
We're simply here for the lot line adjustment to make sure everything will fit once they do.
Yeah.
So that'll go all together when they.
We can address that
File.
with, we can address that with the site plan for the individual house.
Okay. All right, then, is there any reason why we can't proceed ahead with a secret determination and a motion to approve this? All right. I will entertain a secret determination by anyone.
Make a negative.
Majak, do I have a second on the Majak?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Now, on the approval of the waiver of subdivision, lot line adjustment. Does anybody wish to make that motion? I'll make the motion. Are there any conditions with that?
I don't see any. You see any conditions, Mike?
I don't.
Okay. No conditions. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, there's a second. Any further discussion on the motion to approve? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You want these?
I can do them with you so we can get them signed, or would you like me to resubmit any?
Between you two.
Why don't you grab them up and make sure you have enough and, two.
You gotta give him a copy of the deed and file.
No, there's some. You're all set.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last on our agenda was Sillis Major Subdivision, that was going to be presented by Russ Reeves, and he chose to be taken off the agenda tonight, so I don't know whether he wishes to be rescheduled or not. Same way with Paramount, I would assume that they want to be rescheduled for the 18th, would that be a safe assumption?
I did talk with Matt Bond, and he likely will be on the next agenda.
Okay.
He just provided a bunch of information.
Okay, so that puts us into new business. We have one, this is a minor subdivision. Is that correct? What's going on?
Mr. Danskin, you're talking about
Me?
Mr. Danskin?
Oh,
Froyo.
Mark,
Excuse me.
Oh, Mark.
How we doing?
good, how are you?
Detailed stuff.
See it? Yeah, I've got a minor subdivision. It's located on Tamarack Road, east side of Tamarack Road, just north of Indian Creek Road. It's 82 acres, and you guys don't need to break them out. I got a nice sketch to look at after this, and we can look at that in leisure. So we got got this 60-foot strip here. This land has been owned by many people, and never had a house on it. I think it was logged, Fane owned it, Nitz owned it. But anyways, it's about 1,000 feet just to get to the opening, to open up the land. It's heavily wooded, nice rise, there's a meadow in the back. Here's what it kind of looks like from a geographic thing. We're the red, got a pond in the bottom, and we're trying to get to that meadow. And if you look in here, you can see the old road coming through. Not the old road, the road. There's a road that runs all the way down the dump over to Stuffle Street. Okay?
Is that a right of way for?
No, just cut over.
No, this area above it.
Where's that? Here?
Yeah.
That's the town dump.
No. Is that the power lines there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So that goes up to the power lines?
Yeah.
All right.
So my client would like to make 3 parcels, 2 building lots and 1, I don't know, agricultural. So what we propose is a private roadway with an agreement, the whole stuff, it's on the other map. And we have 20 feet of road frontage for each lot. And we run that 20 feet up all the way up, okay? And it gets a little wider. But here we are, we picked up here, and we still got three 20-foot strips coming up, okay? Gets a little bigger here, gets a little wider there. It's 60 feet wide here. The blue access is the big lot, lot 1, three-wheel ranch LLC. And these 2 are the building lots. And while I'm thinking of it,
Mark, how long is the driveway?
say what?
How long is the driveway?
How long is the driveway altogether? You want to ask that right off the bat?
Yeah.
Over 3,600 feet.
Finally.
Yours is next week. Yeah, from all the way down off the map, come up that 1,000 feet to about here. And then you keep trucking, and it's about 3,600 to here, about 4,000 to there. So I might as well just get to it with you guys here.
3/4 of a mile.
Huh?
Oh,
4/5 of a mile.
Yeah, it's more than 3/4.
Is that gonna be the private road?
Yes, that would be the private road. This is how your maps look. There are the lot lines and whatnot, the private road boundaries. And you can see the existing road. The dash is the existing travel way that's been there forever, that I'm really trying to keep in the private roadway because I drive by Subaru. It's a good road and it really should be used. And it comes to, that's a 3-acre lot, 3.5-acre lot. This is 3.7. They total out to 5.7 and 5.6 when you add in the strip down to the road. So other than the driveway, it's really kind of a straightforward shot. But it's a 4,000-foot driveway. And they seem well aware of it. So I got my cross section. I got decent sight distance down at the road. I got 950 and 600. That's on Tamarack Road. That's a 45.
This is, I'm sorry, north of Indian Creek?
North of Indian Creek.
Isn't that the top? It's
No.
Not quite. You're almost there. But actually, you gotta go through a little Grafton first. It's right where Old Seek, well, it's not really where Old Seek, it's south of that. Between Old Seek and Indian Creek. On Tamarack.
How wide is the strip that starts at Tamarack?
Here?
Yeah.
60 feet. So I thought with a roadway agreement, private roadway agreement, deed over a permanent easement to the 3 parties, utilize the whole for the private roadway, but they all own their frontage, because you gotta have frontage, right? So it would just be a permanent easement to it. And obviously we need our turnouts. And the grade's not bad. The grade really isn't bad.
Did they ever consider down the road that making that dedicate that road to the town?
No. They've told me that. That was the first thing I asked. They said no. They don't want to develop the rest of it. They want to use it for agriculture. That's what they tell me.
But that could change in 10 years.
That could change in 10 days. Yeah.
All right.
The grades aren't bad. From here to there is 8%, but you got a little bump in there that gets you over 10. You know, it's going to have to be graded off a little bit. These are 2 and 6, and they're all well under. They're all about 6 or 7% all the way up. The rise is you get pretty high. You get up there.
Yeah.
But you get 4,000 feet to get there. So. I suggested a 20-foot wide driveway, and they opted for a 16-foot wide with 20 by 50 turnouts every 500 feet.
All right.
It's a big turnout, 20 by 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're almost filling in the hole, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah.
So that's what they opted to do.
They would also need, they'd also need at the top of the driveway, turn a fire truck around as well.
What would this driveway would be a paved driveway?
No, it'd be gravel.
Gravel. Where is this in relation to Olson's house?
Say it again, Olson.
Chip
This is
Olson.
closer to Old Seek, right?
Well, you gotta pass the power lines to get to Old Seed. I don't know where Olson
Okay.
is.
Olson did increase.
Gotta be just
Oh,
beyond
Indian Creek, I'm just north of Indian Creek. Waters,
Harrington's at that big
these
field.
fellas here. Town of Brunswick, where am I? Elton and Waters, they come off from Indian Creek.
Yeah.
These guys, they come off a old seat.
Okay. So you're beyond Old Sea. No, if you're before, it's gotta be
Before Old
before, you gotta be before.
Before logwoods.
Yeah, okay. I know where it is.
You should take a ride out. You can drive your truck right up.
I'll do that. Can I borrow your truck?
I'm taking a Subaru.
The Beamer out there?
Subaru.
I'll take my wife's truck.
There you go. So really what they're trying to do is they're trying to do, Paul Angster is working on the private road agreement. And Steve Dean is working on the engineering. We were just looking for a 2-lot subdivision with a private road agreement, and remaining lands for, they say agricultural, like chickens, goats. They gotta put a barn up
For what?
there.
What did you say it was for?
Chickens and goats.
Chickens and goats. Their biggest issue right now is trespass. I mean, you can literally go from Old Seat to Tamarack through this property.
So Andy, can we touch on that private road? That's similar to risers. We did risers. The turnouts for that, which will be several offs, the turn-offs, I think they should be mapped on that because it is a private road agreement. And explain where they fall because two of the parcels on the outside will fall on private property. For the turnouts, the center road, would not. So I think those turnouts should be mapped on there
Okay.
and described as part of the
I
road
think it's a
agreement.
good idea. Just
Well, like for example, if this is where the driveway is, I'm obviously gonna put the turnout on that side
Correct.
and vice versa.
You'll have to pick and choose what the best
Yeah, they
location
don't have
is.
to be on the same side.
Correct,
We can
correct.
alternate.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the little pie-shaped thing in there? Below
That's part of the, that's part of the private road agreement. I hate that word, road, private driveway thing. I have trouble saying it. But that's gonna be part of it. I'm probably gonna put a turnout there. Give them a little area for some staging. They're gonna need some equipment to take care of a 4,000-foot driveway. One or two spots, I put it basically. Warming.
So I will, the other project that Kevin referenced, on the subdivision plat itself, there were map notes indicating the road would be subject to, it is a private road maintenance agreement. You can take a look at that particular plat note, you should.
I did look at that. I really couldn't pick out what one you were saying. I mean, I saw it, it said, what's it, Riser Rock? Riser Rock Private Road Agreement.
Right, there was a, look at that, there was
It referenced the written,
a plat note, and it was a written executed private road
Right.
maintenance agreement, the agreement.
On the
itself-
map?
On the map. The agreement itself ultimately needs to be recorded as well as against each of the lots. It's the private road maintenance agreement that'll have the easement description in it, permanent access easement. It'll lay out the responsibility for maintenance, repair, insurance, all that kind of stuff. Paul will.
Paul will
do that.
draft it, yeah.
And there's no land book across the national grid to see.
Well, let me consider that. It's only something. Okay. Here's an IMO. Here's Old Seat. They do got us, they don't own it, but they got a 70-foot right of way across Lozano. And we got that approved by NIMO. I don't know what year, 2019 maybe. can't remember the year.
Or there's
But we
some
do have the crossing approved.
emergency access in front of that. That's-
This is tree, they'd have to clear it.
And that little land that's left, yes. Is that-
Kinda.
Is that landlocked?
Oh, they own this.
Okay.
That's their hunting piece, I believe.
Chickens.
Chickens, goats, and honey. Sounds like
I'm glad they're putting 2 houses up there. I would want to put 1 house up there. It's a little too far out, not too isolated. Dangerous. But anyways, that's what I got. I was just here to preview. If you
Okay.
have any more questions, I'd be more than happy to ask and answer them.
Yeah, this is new business, so
Yep.
we just got this tonight.
Yeah.
Would you like to move forward and be on our agenda for our next meeting?
Um,
Yeah, to give us an opportunity to take a look at this and be able to ask some reasonable questions.
Very good. And I'll try to get with the gentleman who's constructing this driveway for his input on the location of the turnouts.
Yeah, that'd be good.
What do we call this? What is the exact?
842 Tamarack Road.
Okay. Is this going to have any LLC with it or anything?
Well, lot 1 is going to go to Three Wheel Ranch LLC. I know it's a good LLC. They wrote the check for it.
Mhm.
Anybody can write it.
It's true. It's true. Paul will check it.
Okay, we will put you
Paul's got a
on,
lot of stuff.
we'll put you on the agenda for our next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
I'm leaving my maps over here and getting them in the morning because they don't fit in my car.
I'm sure that'll be part of the minutes. Okay. All right, we have another new business, and this has to do with AT&T.
Yeah, we have 2 applications for the tower at Politish Road and the tower on Bald Mountain. They want to upgrade / modify the antenna equipment.
Is this entirely different than what they just got approved?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I know that was a dumb question.
Yeah, so they submitted it as under a building permit. I informed them that they also need a special use permit for our chapter 160.
Okay, and it's basically identical to the one we,
Yes. Yeah, they're not changing the height of it. They're not changing the size of it. They're basically, this has got the same 60-day shot clock, basically, that we had before, 30 days for accepting the documents, and then another 30 days for you guys to approve it.
does that start now?
It started when
Started.
we received the documents.
Okay,
So we've exceeded the 130-day shot clock for Politish Road, but we have not for Bald Mountain.
okay.
I've sent them an email asking for additional drawings because we have to have a structural review of the tower. Russ Reese is going
They will be presenting at our next meeting?
Well, they haven't responded to my email, so that is yet to be determined.
Okay. And I'm not going to include them on the agenda until they tell us.
Yeah.
Now, once they're officially on the agenda is that?
Well, this
when
would
the
be new
clock
business.
starts?
No, the clock already started. But once we receive the documents, that's when the clock
Then we
starts.
review it for completeness. We have 30 days to review for completeness.
From the day we receive it, yeah. And then another 30 days beyond that for approval.
Unless we deem it not complete.
Right. So should we say AT&T tentative for the 18th?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Is there any more new business?
No.
Is there any old business?
Look on water.
Included on our agenda for the 18th is Tranquility Bookshop. That's been already determined in the last meeting. So they're included on that. The agenda will include Paramount, Building, National Grid, calling it 842 Tamarack Road. This is the Mark Vanskin, the bookshop, and AT&T.
Yeah, if you want to maybe discuss with Andy the issue I mentioned to you today about Golden Grain, on how we handle that.
Ah. Okay.
And Andy's not aware of that.
This is old business?
Technically, it would be old business.
Okay. We've got a situation that's developed with the Golden Grain Pizza.
Yeah.
They constructed an outside deck area. It was supposed to be 9 by 21.
That you guys approved, yes, as part
We
of the site plan.
approved, and lo and behold, they have a
13 by 30.
13 by 30 deck on there now. Well, the alternative is they take the deck down, start all over, or they come before us for a site plan amendment.
Like, too close to the road.
I presume they would like the latter of the two, probably. For that. But,
Well, that's
yeah.
up to the building department.
Well,
Is that getting too close to the road or?
well, that lot is extremely close to the road to begin with.
I know that, but now they're closer.
Well, that's something you guys need to discuss.
Well, that's all.
It's still within the building envelope of what they built.
Okay.
But I would think it would be a planning.
It is, it's quite simple. Either they build it according to the approved plan, or they come in and ask for a site plan amendment.
Right.
They shouldn't continue construction until,
Yeah, they stopped.
the board addresses the.
Well,
proposed amendment.
they may choose to redo it. It's also an option.
No, they're not looking to redo it. They're looking to, continue.
All right, then they're gonna have to come for us with a set of plans and stuff like that.
The whole site shut down or just the deck?
Well, right now, the whole site's shut down for other issues, but that's a different topic.
Okay. Any other old business that you wish to comment on?
No, Quick Check and Mattress and Chipotle are moving quite quickly.
You gotta get their light?
They've applied with DOT for a temporary light. DOT's reviewing that right now.
Okay. All right, I think just for clarification, the agenda, what do you have for the agenda items?
Paramount Building Group, National Grid, 842 Tamarack Road, AT&T Tenton, and the bookshop, which I'll ask to put last, simply.
Okay. And you will be at this, at the 18th meeting,
Will be there, correct.
Chris will not.
He will be there.
Oh, he will be.
He'll be available for the 18th.
Okay, good, all right. All right, and if there's no other questions, I have something down here on the whole thing. What is 211, 215 Oakwood Avenue site plan? What is that?
Jake is here. Jake and I have been discussing, and maybe you can have Jake discuss it with you as well. We're having trouble pinpointing a bulk requirement on our table that fits his client, basically. It's the old Gallivan site.
Yeah,
It's a B15. B15 or is it business light? Business light, right? Yeah, so on our schedule of use regulations, we're having trouble trying to pick one that actually works for his client. And, if you'd like Jake to explain it to you, maybe that would help to move this forward.
I'd be happy to talk for a minute.
Yeah, why don't
Yeah,
you, Jake?
I did bring it with me just in case I had the opportunity. It is the old Galavan site, but it's the only part of it is the barn that's out front, or the metal building that's out front, the red metal building.
Yeah,
The gentleman who owns it is looking to lease it to a landscaper who just does, large industrial kind of landscaping. He doesn't plan on changing anything with the site whatsoever. He just wants to use the building as a storage facility for his equipment. So the parking that's around the backside and the side of the building here, which has a gate, it's gated off, and he wants to be able to use the back building to work on his equipment and stuff like that. There'll be no retail or anything going on.
it's not gonna be manufacturing mulch.
No, he won't be manufacturing mulch, and I actually, that was, in respect to that question, the very first thing I asked him, was there gonna be any bulk storage of materials? And he doesn't plan on storing any material there, it's just equipment and a place for his few employees to come and pick up pieces of equipment, park their personal vehicles, take the trucks away, that's all they plan on doing. So Kevin and I have been talking, I think the best way we could classify it as a warehouse and storage facility for the business, but we're still discussing that.
Yeah, and that's not allowable under business light. So we've got to try to figure out how we can fall under our use regulation that fits what they're trying to do. And quite frankly,
I mean, he's not gonna have an office in there or anything.
There'll be
Distraction.
a break room for his employees, that would be it.
So it wouldn't be manned,
Yeah, business light is tough. There's not a lot of, uses in that category for him. So I guess, Jake and I can continue to try to work, trying to find what fits, if we can find something that fits.
or maybe we could find another piece of property. Another building.
Well, I'm not a realtor, so
Well,
I can't help with
I mean,
that. But,
Well, the answer to this question would be no, so, then he's gonna have to do something else.
Yeah.
All right. I just had that, I must have picked that up off one of the boards on it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I think we're all set. Is there any other business? Thank you, appreciate that. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to that? Good night, thank you.